Hey, what's up, YouTube? This is Dragon, and this is a Pokemon X and Y Wi-Fi battle. Now, judging from how Matt's team looks like from the very first get-go, I personally felt it wasn't really threatening, but I know that Mega Aggron might give me some trouble because it's a really defensive Pokemon, and I don't really have many special attackers on this team. The only special attacker that I have is Clefable with Flamethrower, and in any sense, Quagsire with Scald. And you may be looking at my Greninja on the other side and saying, oh, you're special too, but it's actually a physical Greninja. And yes, physical Greninja catches people off guard all the time. I'm surprised many people don't actually use that type of set. I mean, it's unbelievable. Choice Banded U-turn, you don't even have to give it a scarf because it's already so fast. It's unbelievable. Anyway, I'm going to get into the battle now. I know my opponent is most likely going to send out his Mega Aggron first, because it just makes, see, of course, I mean, why wouldn't he? He just wants to get out his Stealth Rocks real early in the game, and there's nothing anyone can do to Mega Aggron, seriously. I mean, Mega Aggron is just a straight boss. So I lead out with my Greninja, and I use Waterfall, and you're probably like, okay, why would you use Waterfall on Greninja? That doesn't make sense. This is a Choice Banded Greninja, and I kind of wanted to see how much damage it did, and as you can see, it literally did nothing. So he does Stealth Rocks, and now I'm going to do a hard switch and go out into my Gliscor. And I know my Gliscor will be able to take most of what he has, so I was going to get a Poison Heal up, but unfortunately I get Dragon-tailed. And now I get sent out into my Jingle. Now this is definitely a bad situation. Sure, I could Flamethrower it, but I'm definitely not going to subject myself to any Steel type moves it may have. So I immediately switch back into my Gliscor, and he does a Heavy Slam, and of course that would have annihilated my Clefable, but you know, I'm into Gliscor. So my Toxic Orb activates, and I get off of Protect. I know I want to get at least a little bit more health back to myself. That Heavy Slam did a bit more than I predicted because I am full defensive Gliscor. So I Earthquake him, and I know I need to get as much damage as possible on this Mega Aggron because I don't really have any Pokemon that can deal decent special attack damage. I mean, well, this is one of my older teams, and I feel that I resolved that issue later. However, Mega Aggron, oh god, this Pokemon, Mega Aggron is serious. He is serious business, like no joke. So I sent out my Quagsire. I could easily take any Steel type move, and this is a max defensive Quagsire, so I'm not worried about anything that Mega Aggron is going to do at this point. And I'm so desperate to kill this thing, so I didn't really predict the obvious switch into pretty much anything. Well, Sylveon, because, well, it's either going to be Sylveon or Seismitoad. And I Scald it, and I'm like, please don't burn, please don't burn, please don't burn. And yes, it does not burn, because you already know if this Pokemon has a regular burn, it's going to be harder to kill. And I want to have I have Toxic on my Quagsire, so I didn't want this Pokemon to be burned. That would just been terrible. So Sylveon does exactly what I feared, and it did Wish. Now, of course, it's a Sylveon, so what else is it most likely going to do? And it does exactly what I fear. So I want to do something, and I know that he's going to switch because, I mean, he's fearing the Sludge Bomb, so I Spore it, and I know that it would put this Demon Beast to sleep, and then it would leave me room to switch in to who do I switch in at this point? I mean, I can't really do anything. I have Giga Drain and Sludge Bomb, Spore, and what's my last move? I don't know. Well, I send out my Quagsire because I want to Scald it, as opposed to sending out my Clefable and using Flamethrower and then it waking up and smashing it into dust. So I already know that this is going to happen. He withdraws this Pokemon, and I predict that switch. I mean, why would he stay in? So I Toxic the incoming Seismitoad, and it's probably Water Absorb Seismitoad. And well, it doesn't really make a difference to me at this point because I did exactly what I wanted to do, and that was toxic this Seismitoad. So I don't know whether if it's physical or special, but nonetheless, I sent out my Amoonguss. I also have the hidden ability on my Amoonguss, which allows me to regenerate 30% of my health when I switch out into another Pokemon. And he uses Focus Blast, which suggests to me that he's specially based. So that wouldn't really do well for my Quagsire, being that it's a fully physically defensive. Physically defensive. So I'm gonna switch it. Well, wait, no, I Giga Drain it. Yeah, I just Giga Drain it. Actually, I thought he was gonna switch at this point because why would I not have Giga Drain? I mean, all right. So he switches into his Ronnie, his Meowstic, and I know that this is the prankster one because it's the male form, so most likely it's going to be defensive. So I switch into my Blissey just to kind of feel it out to see what it's going to do. So it uses Calm Mind. So I don't know. Maybe it's a defensive / special attacker. I don't really know what it's about. But nonetheless, my Blissey can definitely handle it. And I do something really stupid at this point. I double switched because I thought that he was going to fear my Blissey and then switch into possibly his, what's his physical type? Golurk. And because his Golurk most likely would have Dynamic Punch or something. But then he Thunder Waves me on the incoming. And I am pretty pissed because now my Greninja is severely crippled. But he now reveals that he has the Energy Ball. And ironically, if I would have stayed in just to get off the U-turn, I would have died. Well, not died, but I would have taken a significant amount of damage that wouldn't have been necessary. None of this is necessary. I should have just stayed in with my Blissey and Toxic like I do now. And it would have just been so much more easier and not stupid. So I don't really know what he has planned at this point. I think he's gonna just leave it in to die because I don't really see what he could really do to me with this Pokemon. I mean, let's see, it can't really do much to my Clefable even. My Clefable is, well, I mean, I really don't know. I don't know why he stays in with this Pokemon. I was expecting him to switch possibly into his Golurk because it just would make sense. Like, he sees me, now that I revealed that I had the Seismic Toss, it would make sense for him to want to switch in to his other Pokemon, unless he's just leaving this Pokemon out to die so that he can get a 100% safe switch in to his next. Okay, now he switches. That was alright. And he sends out Taishul, the General. And this is the Golurk that I feared. And, well, now I soft-boiled, and I know that he is most likely going to possibly use Dynamic Punch. I don't know if you get Dynamic Punch pre-Pokebank or not, but my Amoonguss is going to be more or less a tester, and he misses the Hammer Arm. It wouldn't have done anything to my Amoonguss because it's mostly defensive, and of course, I would have been able to Giga Drain it. So I'm predicting that he might switch at this point, and he uses Hammer Arm again, which makes me feel that he might be banded, but then I see that damage, and I'm like, okay, maybe he's scarred. Because, I mean, why would he use Hammer Arm again? Like, I don't understand what that was about. So he switches out into his Mega Aggron, and me judging by, I think, I don't even know why I use Earthquake at this point. Oh, that's right. I gained a little bit of health, so I knew I would have been able to take another Hammer Arm because I felt that he was banded at that point, or scarred. So now he uses Dragon Tail, and I wanted to get as much damage on this Mega Aggron as possible. Preferably, I want to burn it. I mean, something needs to be done. This Mega Aggron is a serious threat to my team. So he switches me into my Amoonguss, and I know that this is coming. Why would I spore? I mean, this is such an obvious play. Come on. Did he? No. Why? I would not spore at this point. That was so obvious. So he pretty much switches it into Die. and I'm predicting it was more or less death fodder at this point. And I don't want to be fire blasted into oblivion, so I switched into my Jingle. And this is a max specially defensive Pokemon. And this Fire Blast, it does, well, it does a decent amount of damage, but I'm going to use a Moonlight to recover myself. And now he switches into his Sylveon. And that Moonlight is going to make me feel real nice, get my health back. And now I Toxicate. This is what I wanted to do. I did not want this Pokemon to be burned, and that would have been a serious problem if it was. Now he uses Wish, and I know exactly what he's gonna do. Oh my god. Oh my god. This can't be happening. He switches into Mega Aggron. I Flamethrower it to do something to cancel out the damage. But the Wish pretty much heals him back to almost full health. So, my god, what am I going to do with this Pokemon? So I switch into my Quagsire, and I know the Heavy Slam is most likely going to come. It was either going to be Heavy Slam or Dragon Tail for the predicted switch, but what could I do? So I stay in, and now I use Scald, and I'm hoping that I get the burn. And yes, I get the burn and the crit. Wow, my goodness, that's all I needed. I feel so much better, it's ridiculous. So he switches me out into my Aphorism, and I get the Poison Heal, and the Stealth Rock's doing a little bit of damage. So I use Protect. Now that it's taken 12% damage each turn via the burn, I can heal myself, use Protect, not worry about the damage that I'd be doing physically anymore because it would be taking a lot of passive damage, and now I'm able to kill it with this Earthquake. Now that his Mega Aggron is dead, I can just be free in thought. I don't have to worry about anything anymore. So he switches out into his Golurk, and most likely it is Scarfed because it makes sense for it to be Scarfed because it's using, it's using these attacks in, one way. And it being faster than my Gliscor, I don't know how fast Golurk is, but I don't think Golurk, even at a maximum speed, is faster than Gliscor at minimum speed. I don't know. Gliscor's minimum speed is about 317 at level 100, so I don't know. Most likely it is Choice Scarf. So I get off the Toxic, and now he's just going to use Shadow Punch repeatedly, and this is more or less free health for me because I don't really have much to worry about. Now that his Mega Aggron is dead, I'm pretty much free to do as I please with the rest of his team. That Aggron was seriously his ace in the hole, and I mean, after that burn, there wasn't really much he had going for him. So now I'm going to speed up the video because you pretty much know what happens at this point. He sends out his Houndoom, which is going to be the last Pokemon he sends out, and he Dark Pulses my Blissey, and then he runs away. Well, it was a pretty good battle, and I definitely enjoyed it. I learned that Mega Aggron cannot be stopped unless you have some sort of special attacker. And I definitely learned that every Pokemon team needs to have some sort of defense against Mega Aggron, because heck, Mega Aggron alone was doing damage to my whole team. Nonetheless, it was a great battle, and there will be more battles like this. So, like this video if you liked it, and subscribe. Well, see ya!